what is, you look just purely from a cricketing point of view, what are some of the things that you kind of enjoyed the most or you feel the most proud of just as a cricketer?
A couple of highlights would be, 100 on Test debut against Australia. That would be arch enemies. The hardest format of cricket is Test cricket, and the team that's the toughest to play is definitely Australia. Winning the IPL 3 times is something that not a lot of people would be able to say they've done that. Proud now, sitting on, getting almost on 11,000 T20 runs is something that I'm really proud of and feel like I'm not done with yet. So that longevity in the sport is something that still drives me. Something
meaningful happened quite early on in your career. I mean, talk us through how you became a Christian.
Yeah, spot on. I grew up like most South Africans. There would be, Christian values, somewhere there. Like any teenager, go through a bit of a rebellious phase, where you think you're an adult and you want to do everything on your own. And I think I'm lucky that cricket was always a real strong driving force in my life. It almost kept me on the right path in a way. When there's obviously when you start touring when you're 19, 20-year-old and you're on the road and you're overseas in different countries, that comes with a lot of distractions, whether it's away from home for the first time, whether it's going out, different cultures, you want to experience all of that as a young guy. But cricket almost like just kept me switched on enough not to go too far off the rails, if I can say that. So I was always very disciplined, and there was cricket the next day. There was like I've got to be switched on. It was only till I was 26 when I made my debut for South Africa, and once again very lucky to maybe a year or two into that. I remember getting an injury of my back where I was supposed to go to the IPL. And I had like a little 4-week window to rest my back. I had a stress fracture. And my wife now was my girlfriend then, and we were talking about, getting engaged at some stage in the future. But she said that she would like to do some, like almost couples, not counseling, but just like what to expect from marriage, those
like
courses.
A marriage prep thing, yeah.
Marriage prep thing, yeah. And she said that she heard of this guy in Pretoria when we lived back in Pretoria, this pastor, which is an Afrikaans singer as well, called Retief Burger, that he's done something with some other people and they spoke very highly of him. I want to give him a call. And I remember being quite hesitant towards it because straight away your guard goes up. Like, I'm not going to call some random guy and say to him, listen, let's have a conversation about me getting married, because I suppose your ego gets a little bit in the way there, and you've got some hesitancy. But at the time I was like, you know what, I'm injured, maybe I should just give him a call. And I phoned him and he said, listen, let's meet up, let's go for a coffee. So I was like, well, I thought it's a couples thing, shouldn't I bring my wife? He's like, no, just go for a casual coffee and a chat. And his chat was very much around where's your heart, where's your faith, where you're in your journey with God. And at that stage, I was probably in that prime, enjoying cricket, enjoying life, experiencing traveling for the first time, just making my international debut. So feeling like you've reached the pinnacle of where you aspired or dreamed to be, but definitely not in terms of my faith. I was probably the opposite of that. I was very cold and very distant in my personal faith. And maybe a week or so into it, he started really challenging my values as a guy. He was like, listen, I'm not interested in dealing with you guys as a couple. I'm interested in you as the leader in the household. What's your heart like? What's your values like? And it was probably looking back on it now, it was a bit of a godsend time for me to have a block of 3 or 4 weeks, because I didn't have that before. So I could really just weekly have these little catch up and coffees and speak openly about where my heart was at. And I definitely had a transformation of my heart in that season. And that brought me to a place of like, you know what, I want to give my heart to God. I want to get baptized. It wasn't something that I grew up with. I got baptized as a baby, so why must I do it again? But it's really in that season when, giving my heart to God was a transformational moment for me. And then went back into the Protea side, back into the IPL. And then going back is almost like this transformed new person. And I had a lot of value changes in my own life. And I remember feeling quite vulnerable in that space in India, because you almost feel like you go from being the cool kid to the not so cool kid, because now you've got the majority of the people that are making jokes around, you're not going to have a drink with us, you're not going to come out with us. And I'm like, guys, I'm the same guy. I'm just not doing all of those things that I used to do.
A relationship with Christ, I would say, the Bible would say, offers something better than anything in this world. There will be people sitting there thinking, yeah, but I'd still rather be a professional sportsman. I mean, can you really say that a relationship with Christ does offer something better?
Obviously you can do both. You can be an exceptional sportsman and have faith in your life and have God in your life. The way I see my relationship with God, it just truly like feels like it is just meant to keep you safe, to keep you on the right track. It's there to be a little guiding star for you all the way. I feel without it, I wouldn't be as safe as I am today. I would have fallen off somewhere. It makes me a better husband. It makes me a better father. It makes me a better friend. It makes me a better sportsman. So, of course, there'll be a lot of people in the world that would say, why would you need it? I can only speak from my own perspective and say, like, I don't think without it, I definitely would be divorced. I can guarantee you that. I wouldn't have been in a position where today I really have a great family. I would have messed it up somewhere in my journey around professional sports and being away. I have good weeks and good months, and I have bad weeks and months. But I know that there's grace when it comes to that. There's grace. Look, I can start over. Last week was a week where I was a little bit distant from God. I got distracted. I was busy. I'm actually doing a Bible plan at the moment where it's like most of the stuff I'm writing is, God, thank you for the grace. I know that there is, that I haven't been putting you first. I've been putting my cricket first, my hobbies first, my family first, myself first. I haven't put you first. So thank you for that grace. And I'm just gonna try and start my day in a way that I'm being intentional, saying, God, lead me, show me what you want for my life. And that's just rocking up every day.